Hi, I'm Angela Wolf. Today I have a really easy, fun project for you, and this makes a great gift. A faux leather book cover. Here's my faux leather book cover. I have it stitched all along the edges. We have a nice vinyl piece inside to hold the cover. This will fit any book of any size, and we even add some ribbons to save your pages. So let me show you how easy this is. To get started, let's talk about what fabric you could use. This is another piece of faux leather. The back has a little bit of a fleece feel. This would be perfect, and you can also see that the edges don't fray. If the edges fray, this will not be a good option for you. So this is one piece that would be great. Here's another piece. This is a piece of vinyl. It has a little bit of a texture to it. The back has a little bit of a kind of a fabric feel, but also this does not fray. You can cut along this line in a nice straight line, and you don't have to finish the edges. Another great option. This piece is not so good. Look at the edges of this fabric. Although it looks like it might be a vinyl faux leather fabric, see all these frays here? This is what will make this fabric not good. Because once we finish the edges, I'll give you another little image here. Once we finish the edges, we're just going to trim a nice straight line with the rotary cutter, but look what happens. So this option would not be a good one. So find a piece of faux leather, a piece of vinyl. You could even use a piece of suede. Just cut the edge, and if it doesn't fray, it's a perfect option for this project. The fabric that I've chosen is a faux leather with fleece on the back side, and I quilted this myself. You can go back to a previous post to learn how to do this. This is what I have on the book cover currently. So the inside, there's actually a piece of fleece in here that I have quilted to the outside. It gives it a little bit more structure, but at the same time, after I trim it, there's no fraying. A perfect piece of fabric. The first step is to measure your book. You need to measure all the way around. Again, you can use any book, any size. It could even be a paperback. So just take your book, measure one side, and go all the way around to the other. This one is 12 inches. Give yourself some extra room so your book can squeeze in there. I would give myself an extra inch. And if you want it smaller, you can always make it tighter later, but you can't make it bigger. So that's one measurement you need. So that will be the width of the fabric, and then this will be the height of the fabric. This is 8.5 inches, plus I would give myself a little bit of extra room, either a half of an inch or an inch. So here is my fabric, and you're also going to need a piece of clear vinyl. I'm going to lay it on top of here because you can see it better. The vinyl will be cut from this edge to this edge through the height. And then you give yourself, it depends how wide the book is. So for example, this book here, I would probably only want maybe 4 inches because the vinyl would go to about right here in the book. Just judge according to how thick your book is. So for this vinyl, I would just line it up with the top. Using a rotary cutter on this makes it very simple. Again, these edges don't fray. And I'm going to cut across the bottom. And if I'd like 4 inches, I'm going to line this up with 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. And cut. And I will cut one more piece for the other side. So this will be attached to this fabric on the wrong side of the fabric. You cannot use pins when you're sewing faux leather. So I have just some clips here. The other thing you're going to need will be some ribbon. So just take your ribbon and make it a little bit longer than the width. And wherever the center is of your book, that's where you're going to attach this ribbon. I just give it a little clip and add my other vinyl piece to the other side. So this is the basic pattern. If you want to add another piece of ribbon here, no problem. You would just stretch that out, add another piece, either right on top of it or right next to it. And this is the pattern. This is how simple this is. We are going to be going to the sewing machine and stitching just along the edges, 1/8 of an inch, all the way around, and that will create our book cover. So I mentioned I was going to stitch from the right side of the fabric, but if I do that, you're not going to be able to see what's going on. So I'm going to stitch from the back side just so you can follow. And I just want to barely have maybe 1/8 of an inch. You can have 1/2 of an inch seam allowance, but a very scant seam allowance. I'm going to turn on my laser light, which you can see across my finger here. So I have the needle in the down position. I have the laser light lined up just with the edge of the fabric, if you can see that. And I'm going to put my presser foot down, and we're just going to stitch real slowly. I'm setting the stitch length to a 4.0. This is just going to be our nice looking top stitch. And this is just feeding the fabric through nice and evenly. I'm just stitching real slow because making an 1/8 of an inch top stitch right on the edge is not an easy task. So if you're worried, you can make a 1/2 of an inch and trim off the extra later. That's another idea for you. One more. Make sure that your needle is all the way in the down position, because if it's not, you could skip a stitch on the corner. So you can see how nice those stitches look. And again, my laser light is right on the edge of the fabric. And I'm holding the vinyl side, just holding it down so it doesn't slide. And with this foot, you cannot go backwards, so I'm just going to stitch right back over this ribbon one more time. And when I get to the ribbon, I'm just going to do a stay stitch just to secure it. I'm going to go forward one more stitch and do it again. That's just a stay stitch. And do a couple more stitches just to make sure I make it past. And another stay stitch. We're going to cut the thread. And I'll meet you back at the table. Our book cover is all finished. We have a very small stitch all the way around the edges. On the inside, we have our 2 flaps, and we have our ribbons. So you're just going to take your book, slide it into one side, and slide it into the other side. We have all of our ribbons to save the pages, and we're all finished. That's how simple it is to make a faux leather book cover. Again, I'm Angela Wolf. For more sewing tips and tutorials, be sure to visit brothersews.com and share photos of your book cover. I love to see what you're working on. Until next time, happy sewing.